Nikon Nikkor Z DX 18-140mm F3.5-6.3 VR review. The mid-range zoom lens of the Nikon Nikkor Z DX 18-140mm F3.5-6.3 VR is available for their Z series cameras. It offers more telephoto focal range than the basic Nikkor Z DX 16-50mm that comes bundled with the Z50. And other entry-level models from Nikon, as well as a narrower telephoto angle for portraits and macros up close. Although this is an acceptable lens, it is not a good value because of its mid-range custom plastic bayonet mount. Therefore, we suggest that owners of DXZ cameras invest in this instead of the 16-50mm. However, it's regretful that Nikon does not offer any deals when these lenses are bought with a camera as Canon does with their comparable model, RFS 18-150mm. The ZDX 18-140mm has a greater zoom range than the ZDX 16-50mm, though you won't get as much wide-angle coverage. However, this is usually worth it. You can take 2 steps back and still fit a lot of a scene in view. The most evident benefit of having increased zoom capability is the ability to capture views of objects that are farther from the camera. With its zoom range, one can easily photograph kids or animals in an active state and have enough compression to make the background blurry when doing macros or headshots. On the other hand, 140mm can be inadequate for taking photographs of wildlife. You might want to consider getting a Nikkor Z DX 50-250mm if that is what your photographic interests lean towards. The 18-140mm has larger proportions than the simple 16-50mm lens due to its longer zoom. It stands 3.5 by 2.9 inches in size and weighs 11.1 ounces, drastically bigger than the 16-50mm. The latter was formed slimly with a twisting zoom ring that must be adjusted for the optical block to get into the correct position before using it. Contrarily, as long as the 18-140mm is attached to the camera, it can be used without any additional actions. However, like most zoom lenses, its inner barrel protrudes when changing to broader focal lengths. The build quality is a letdown, particularly keeping in mind the mid-level cost. We do not anticipate dust or splash defense for this kind of zoom lens, but we feel slightly bothered by the plastic lens mount. You receive neither accessories nor extras with the zoom lens, simply front and back lens caps. If you desire to make use of it, you need to buy a compatible hood independently. Even though there is no anti-smudge fluorine coating on the front element, 62mm filter holders can be attached if more protection or creative effects are desired. The DX 18-140mm lenses work harmoniously with APS-C cameras. It ran smoothly on the ZFC and Z30, 2 cameras that I had the opportunity to pair with. The zoom ring makes up the majority of the barrel. You need to apply some force to turn it, so once a certain focal length is chosen it will stay in place. The rubber ridges on the ring are accompanied by markings that indicate the 18, 24, 35, 50, 70, 100, and 140mm focal lengths. The focus control ring near the lens mount has a narrow surface with a knurled texture to make it easy to find. The manual focus works in a non-linear way, slow turning causes small adjustments and fast twisting effects more significantly. Videographers tend to prefer linear focus, however, autofocusing for video exists as well. The STM engine that runs it is nearly silent, enabling easy and consistent shifts in focus. When adjusting the focus, there is no blooming across the angle of view, so you can use this lens while shooting videos that change focus from one person to another. Also, when used with Nikon's Z30 vlogging camera, the lens performs excellently for video. The manual focus ring serves different functions depending on the exposure settings of your camera. If you have it in autofocus mode, you can adjust the aperture, EF, or ISO with the ring. It is also possible to turn off this feature. We generally appreciate the control ring element and have given praise to similar features on different systems, however, Nikon falls flat with their execution here. The ring is hugely sensitive and there's no option to adapt the response when using current-era DX bodies. Nikon's only camera to provide control ring sensitivity alteration is their expensive $5,500 Z9. We wish this feature could eventually become available on consumer-level cameras. Till then, The control ring of this lens can only be used reliably for setting focus and very little else. The 18-140mm lens lets you focus at close distances, achieving 1 to 3 life-size results at the 140mm setting. Compared to the ZDX 16-50mm which only allows a 1 to 5 macro focus, this is an especially good feature of the 18-140mm, providing more versatility.